Hey guys, this video is an extension of my video on distributive property basics. So basically with that video, I only had numbers that we were using the distributive property with, but today we are going to throw in some variables. We're taking it one step further and we're gonna learn how to properly use the distributive property when we have some variables within those parentheses. So let's get started on a couple examples. For my first example, I have 2 times x plus 3 in parentheses. Just like in the first video, I am going to create my little arches to distribute the 2 that's on the outside to everything on the inside. So I'm going to take 2 and distribute it to the x, 2 distributed to the 3. I also still like to put the little x's on my arches to remind myself that when I distribute, I multiply. So now I'm going to follow my arches and write that down. 2 times x will be the first thing I write down. Bring down my plus sign. 2 times 3 is my second arch. So I'm going to write that down. Now, here is what is different than the last time. You're going to look at this and you're going to be like, 2 times x, how do I do that? Here's what you need to do. When you have a variable times a number, you just squish them together, okay? So like I said, this 2 is right next to the parentheses. That implies multiplication. So to write this in simplest form, you just write them right next to each other because this implies multiplication. Bring down your plus sign and you know it, 2 times 3 is 6. Now with the past examples that I have done, we have combined the 2 numbers in the end because we were following order of operations up here. But notice this time there's a variable. This is why we practice combining like terms. You should realize that 2x and 6 are not like terms. They cannot be combined. Therefore, we leave them be. And that is how you write this expression in simplest form. Let's do one more example together just so that this sinks in on what to do with this variable that is a new addition to using the distributive property with our skills. I have 6 times 4 plus a. So again, I'm going to distribute the 6 to the 4, and I'm going to distribute the 6 to the a by using multiplication. So I put my little reminder x's up there. 6 times 4 is the first thing I'm going to write out. Bring down my plus sign. 6 times a. It's the second thing I'm going to write out. Now, 6 times 4, I can do that. That's 24. Bring down my plus sign. 6 times a. You notice I'm using order of operations down here. I'm doing multiplication first, then the addition last. 6 times a. Let's see. A number times a variable. Like I said, just write them next to each other because writing them next to each other implies multiplication. So we're just going to push them together. As you can see, we are left with 24 plus 6a. I cannot combine 24 with 6a because 24 is a constant and 6a has a variable a. They are not like terms, therefore I cannot combine them, and 24 plus 6a is my final answer when I'm using the distributive property for my given expression. So there's 2 examples for you on how to use the distributive property when you have variables. Keep in mind, when you get to the end, please do not combine anything that are not like terms. Just leave them be. It's okay if your final answer has more than one term in it. That is fine if they are not like terms. Also remember, during the solving time, use order of operations after you use the distributive property to help you simplify it down and get to your final answer. I hope those 2 examples helped. Good luck on your practice problems.